It's finally time to get rid of the ryegrass. Finally. It has been a nightmare. Hey guys, Max here and welcome back to Lawn Hub's channel, predominantly based at Clint's house. Today we are going to spray out the ryegrass. I know it looks fantastic. It's striped up. It's like a beautiful late winter's day here in Adelaide, 19 degrees, but it has to come to an end. We need to get this cooch back, so we've got to get rid of the perennial rye that we oversowed back in March. All right, so today we are spraying a broad spectrum herbicide mixed with a little bit of our wet non-ionic surfactant. That's going to help it stick to the waxy leaf of the ryegrass. Okay guys, so we've just put our herbicide into the sprayer. Now I'm just going to add a little bit of wet. So it's a little bit of a, I suppose, unknown to most people. Usually we're using this as a wetting agent, but it is a non-ionic surfactant, which means it can be used in your spray mixes for herbicides. And we're going to put in 10 mil, just so like we're just making it stick to the leaf a bit better with that. So yep, just chucking 10 mil in with the mix now, and then we'll get into some spraying. Right guys, so a little bit of PPE today. We are spraying herbicide, but it is a fantastic day here in Adelaide. It's dead calm here at Clint's. I've forgotten to wear my pants. That's like a small amount of risk I'm taking. I have got a face mask, gloves, and everything else buttoned to the wrist. I've gone pretty safe today. So follow your PPE guidelines on your herbicides, fungicides, and whatnot, and we will get into some spraying now. So guys, probably an opportune time to talk about spray dye indicators, which I have forgotten to use. Blazon is the best. We did a little trial here a little while back when we sprayed out some bow and arrow. Fantastic product. It's available on our website. Jump on, it's cheap. It lasts ages, you don't use much, and it's fantastic. It washes off your skin really easily with a little bit of soap. It's not like any other spray dye indicator on the market. Fantastic product. I really should be using it today, but I can see because the ryegrass is such a waxy leaf, it shows the water really well, and I can see where I'm going, but I just thought I'd drop that handy hint in there. Grab some Blazon, really good stuff. All right, so guys, I guess we've had a lot of questions, a lot of different questions come in about the ryegrass and its exit strategy to back to cooch. Now, every year is different to the next. That's the main thing to remember. What you did last year in regards to timing for spraying it out or organically removing it by scarification and coring or scalping could be different the next year. So we've just had to go along with the weather. Now, the Tiff Tuff underneath this, I've had a bit of a good look last week and this week. It's definitely moving. It's starting to grow. A bit of new leaf development is shooting. So that was the indicator for me that we need to get rid of the rye. Basically what we're doing by spraying the rye out is taking away all the Tiff's competition. So once the rye starts to look pretty sick, we can start getting into a renovation of the lawn. The cooch will then spread and we'll remove a lot of the debris of the dead rye and some living. Obviously it's not going to be perfect. We're not going to get all the rye out. And that's just something that you have to live with when you are oversowing. Even if you think you've got it all, my place, I've still got it 2 years later popping up in a few spots in winter. So you'll never get rid of it fully, but that's the joy of owning a lawn. You can get out there on your hands and knees and pick it with a beer and be done with it. So today we've sprayed it. The next process now will be that in about 2 to 3 weeks time, once we're seeing the rye really slow down and the tiffs start to come through, we're going to scarify it, we're going to scalp it down, we're going to core it, we're going to give it the full treatment. Clint wants to get it a bit more level so that he can mow it a bit easier in summer. And then we'll be developing like a full plan. So late last year we tried to do that. There just wasn't enough time, enough hours in the day to get that done. So this year going forwards, we're going to put forward a Astro or Primo Max, whatever people are using for their growth regulation. We're going to do a GDD video on growing degree days. It's been done on a few other channels, but we will put our spin on it and give you guys some content in that regard. So yeah, there'll be a program coming out for fertilizer, the renovation process. So there's lots and lots and lots of good videos coming soon. And Duffy here is going to be very busy following me around. So yeah, so guys, at this stage, all we'll be doing now is just sort of monitoring the rye. Does take a little while, could take up to a couple of weeks to really even see anything moving. And yeah, hopefully we see a little bit of rapid death, would be nice, but that's not always the case with the rye. So the weather in the next week is going to be absolutely beautiful here in Adelaide. We are looking towards a 27 or 28 degree day this time next week. So spring is inconsistent. It's going to be hot some days, it's going to be wet the next, and I believe that the day after that high degree day we are going to get 30 mils of rain. So that's just what spring is, especially here in Adelaide and Melbourne, I think. So guys, keep an eye on your lawn. In that regard, we need to start thinking about irrigation. The one thing you don't really want to do in springtime or even at the end of winter is to let your lawn dry out. These hot days, they often come with wind. That's going to dry the top of your lawn out severely. So start getting that process in with your irrigation. If you think it's just starting to go off a bit, that's about the time where you're going to be susceptible for disease. Drying lawns out this time of the year is just a no-no. Start with a little bit, just keep it wet. Yeah, you're getting a dew in the morning, so if it's going to be 29 degree day, then next 2 days, make sure you're getting some irrigation out and start getting that cycle done early. This patch here was obviously not overseeded all that well. You can see it's got quite vigorous growth already. Nice leaf tips already coming out. Clint's poor cylinder mowing has destroyed the edges of that, but that's okay. But also you can see here the ryegrass, so you can see the difference in it. Hopefully when that's gone, the tiff is going to really boom and we should have a great season again. So the spot that we're all accustomed to now, the nice shady patch that never grows anything except ryegrass, we haven't sprayed that today. We're going to let that go. Like I said in previous videos, we just need some grass cover there. We don't want it to be a mud heap. Gets lots of traffic, dogs, kids, etc. Clint's thinking about what he wants to do there, but for now we'll leave the ryegrass in. So we haven't sprayed it with the herbicide. The rest of the lawn, in a couple of weeks for our next video, you should see some result from the herbicide, and then we'll be straight into a spring reno. Can't wait. You can see here the dog urine patch. There's a little bit of tiff running in there already, but you can see that piece of tiff, that piece of ryegrass there has really clumped up. It's a very clumpy grass. Once it tillers, it really can take over a big area. So another thing with your spraying out of the rye is if you did follow the directions at the start of winter and you oversowed at the right application rate or sowing rate, it'll be a lot easier to remove the rye going out of spring, into spring and out of winter. If you've gone and overseeded 4, 5, 6 times and really got a lot of seed in there, you aren't going to get a great result coming out of that. You may get some patchiness in your cooch going forwards into spring, and you may find that the rye will stay there in some spots, or if you've tried to kill it, there will be some bare areas. It is one of those things. It's a learning process. I think a lot of turf managers out there in sports field have done all the right things and copped that a few times. So like I said before, it really is, one year is different to the next and every other year. You've just got to get the timing right, got to do what you think is right, and right now, perfect weather in Adelaide, perfect time. Like, have a look at this, look at the growth. You can see there is a lot of movement, and it doesn't seem to be affected by the urine half as much as the ryegrass. So you can see it all underneath here. A lot of tiff coming through. But that's a massively good sign for the spring ahead. We'll let that flourish and hopefully we get a bit of something come back through here. All right guys, so today in closing, we have covered heaps. I know there'll be a few questions that I didn't get to. If you've got some more, put them in the DMs. I'm getting back to them as quick as I can at the moment. It is crazy, you guys are loving it. So yeah, keep those messages coming through. But we have sprayed the rye out. We've given you a bit of a plan of attack for the next 3-4 weeks. We'll play it by ear in regards to when the spring renovation happens and the top dressing. But yeah, happy spring guys. I know that you will all be happy to get out into your lawns and gardens, and by the time you see this, it will be springtime. So keep watching the channel, lots to come, and yeah, thanks again for your support everyone. Cheers.